Coming up on Mustang News, the new dorm names were released last week, but students on campus are still trying to pronounce them.
And keep your eyes out for a prowler peeping into windows near campus.
And finally, with parking limited on campus, new restrictions will be coming in the fall to ease the tension. This and more, Mustang News starts right now.
Broadcasting from Swanson Studios, you're watching Mustang News.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Mustang News. I'm Shirin Beroukhim.
And I'm Dempster. Here are your top stories for the week. Mustang News will be live streaming the Cal Poly baseball game Thursday against UC Riverside. We will have complete pregame and postgame coverage starting at 5:30 p.m. You can tune in on mustangnews.net as well on local cable channel 2 to watch the broadcast.
Many people are still talking about the new Chumash dorm names. Reporter Megan Healy found out why this is no longer spoken language was brought to campus.
One of the interesting things about the language is that it's no longer spoken, so that makes this project really powerful for our community. And because it hasn't been spoken in such a great length of time, there's actually no written record of that language, and so the language itself had to be recreated, which took several years in partnership with the Chumash. This is a wonderful way to honor a great piece of their history and heritage.
I understand the idea behind it, that you were trying to bring up the culture and the heritage and stuff, but I sort of went over a lot of people's heads, and it's more about, the practicality of not being able to say the name, and I feel like it could almost become something that gets made fun of.
It's just kind of going to end up offending more people as they're trying to say it wrong, because I know that already some of the nicknames have already started stemming off and they're not that great.
It's great that they're trying to do this, but obviously more needs to be done, but it's a great start.
By fall 2018, faculty, staff, and students will be expected to refer to Housing South behind me by the Chumash native name. But as of right now, Cal Poly campus is having a little bit of trouble resurrecting the dead language.
We absolutely knew that some individuals might say, I don't know how to pronounce that, or that's too hard to pronounce.
Titiyu yak tilhini?
Yak titu yatuhini.
Tutu or yak tit eu titu yak tilhini.
Oh, that one's easy.
Can you pronounce any of the names?
No.
We have a responsibility actually to make a conscious effort to memorize these names and understand them and spread awareness of their importance.
We feel that Cal Poly is a forward-thinking community and that students and faculty and staff are up for learning a new language, and it's a great opportunity for them to do so.
Megan Healy, Mustang News.
To learn how to pronounce the dorm names, check out the video on the Cal Poly housing website.
Starting the next academic year, freshmen will not be allowed to have cars on campus. Currently, there are more than 2,100 residential parking spots on campus. More than 1,300 spots were lost with the construction of new housing along Grand Avenue. Sophomore and transfer students living on campus will be the only ones able to reserve residential parking permits. According to Cal Poly Administration and Finance, as of winter quarter, 2 of the 3 available residential lots were sold out. Stay tuned with Mustang News for the latest on this story.
And a prowler has been harassing students in neighborhoods around Cal Poly, according to San Luis Obispo Police Department. SLO PD is currently investigating reports of a man peering into a young woman's window near Johnson Avenue, but this isn't the first report. Others were made in January and February in the same neighborhood near Foothill Boulevard and Campus Way. An anonymous victim shares her encounter.
Yeah, I pulled the curtain a little bit, and then I just saw a guy quickly flashing a flashlight in my eyes, and then he had his cell phone faced, so the front of the screen was facing my room, and all the noises I was hearing was porn, and then he was yelling at me to take my shirt off and pointing the camera, or not the camera, the flashlight, and just saying a lot of inappropriate things.
At this time, there is no description of what the man looks like because the flashlight he used prevented the woman to see his face. Coming up after the break.
The newest product in the Cal Poly Hot House is changing the meaning of fashion and comfort for women of all ages.
And find out more about a popular family-run restaurant that has expanded into one of the most historic buildings in San Luis Obispo.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Welcome back to Mustang News and another edition of Students with Cool Jobs. Meet Alyssa Stewart.
My name's Alyssa. I work as a scribe in the emergency room, and so basically what I do is I follow the doctors into the room and essentially do all their charting for the patient visits. You have to write so fast, sometimes because you're just documenting the entire conversation of the doctor, and there's some times where I'll just kind of abbreviate words without even I'll go back to my notes and be hopefully I know what I was saying, and you have to be able to type really fast too. The whole reason behind scribing is to try to make the doctors more efficient. So if a doctor has to do all the charting for every single patient, they they don't have as much time to spend with patients. So it kind of allows the doctors to see more patients in a given amount of time and hear their story and do more physical exams and stuff like that. I think it's really cool to be I work with 20 different doctors, and so I kind of get to meet all the doctors and see all their personalities and how they interact with patients. And then I think it's really cool because sometimes during the downtime, the doctors are totally willing to just kind of explain all their diagnosis or show us x-rays or anything like that. I think it's really cool.
Tune in next week to meet a barista with a passion for baking.
Speaking of Passion Footwear, a student project out of Cal Poly's hatchery program, is creating the world's first convertible heel. Haley Pavoni, CEO of Passion Footwear, says she came up with the idea after taking off her shoes at a sorority formal and getting impaled by another women's heel. Haley won first in the elevator pitch competition and just placed first in the Innovation Quest competition with their entire business plan. Now, their company has been accepted to the SLO Hot House.
So basically, it's your standard stiletto heel, but instead of powering through the night wearing your heels or having to take them off as your feet start to hurt, you have the ability to fully remove the heel and go into a flat or sandal form and continue on with your night.
The company is still waiting for their provisional patent and cannot show their product on camera. However, they hope to have a working wearable prototype by the end of the summer and then a Kickstart program launching in January.
For the last 20 years, Cal Poly has been home to its own experimental farm, and there are some exciting new projects in the works.
The Student Experimental Farm started in 1989 because of a group of students who had worked in the Peace Corps.
They wanted to have a site on campus where they could demonstrate small-scale, low-input, sustainable agricultural practices.
Pete Schwartz, an advisor at the Student Experimental Farm, got involved because he was working on projects like solar cooking and solar ice production.
So I want to build like mock kitchens in the developing world so we can actually cook and see what it's like and see what the challenges are.
Last summer, 4 Cal Poly students went to Uganda to introduce 2 solar electric stoves.
And this summer, we hope to introduce 100 in a village area.
The students brought over a very basic prototype, and the local Ugandan people helped them to improve it.
Our local Ugandan people said, no, that's not going to work, so let's make it work. And so not only is it way better, but also the folks are invested in the design themselves, which is really powerful.
Another exciting development on the farm is the aquaponics facility. Maxwell Muscarella, an electrical engineering senior, explains.
It's essentially a way to grow food without soil and instead generating nutrients from the cultivation of fish.
Muscarella met his current roommates while working on a community garden at the farm.
I've really made a lot of valuable connections and had like conversations that I see engaging and positive, like feeling more connected with the land that I'm a part of, or finding a way to be responsible in that given like the modern lifestyle that I'm engaged in.
The farm is totally organic and open to all Cal Poly students and community members. Annabelle Carpenter, Mustang News.
To learn more about the Student Experimental Farm, you can visit their website.
The popular family-owned restaurant Giuseppe's is in a new historic location in downtown SLO. But something most people don't know about the popular restaurant is that it was a Cal Poly senior project. Political science major Joe DeFranzo opened his first Giuseppe's in Pismo in 1988. Then he opened another one in San Luis Obispo in 2005. But just recently, the SLO location moved to the historic location of Sinchmere Bros building. Joe's son Giuseppe is a manager at the SLO location and has grown up in the restaurant, known for their good food and great service.
Our big, kind of thing we live by and the rule we run the restaurant by is mangia bene, vive bene, which means whoever eats well, it's going to live well. And that really kind of encapsulates our philosophy.
This philosophy will live on in their Pismo location once it is rebuilt after the fire that happened last summer. Stay tuned next week to find out how Joe DeFranzo was able to make this successful restaurant his senior project as a political science major.
Psychology students on a trip down to LA to present their project on how color affects positivity and negativity.
We had a presentation that we'd set up on a big screen behind me. This is actually where we ran our studies, and we'd show each participant a presentation. There are 3 different conditions, so this is a blue condition, there was also a red condition, and then there was a white condition. And we'd show them a series of images that were already scaled by a database for previous ratings of neutrality, positivity, and negativity.
More money and a lot more like labs and those kind of things. So, but at the same time, we have smaller settings and we actually get to work one-on-one with the professor.
Yeah.
And it's just so different.
That's one thing that's really nice, especially as you go on to graduate school, that you can have letters from faculty and you've had this really hands-on experience with people who are a little bit more established in their careers.
All 4 of us presented this at UCLA. We all get to give little spiels to a bunch of other students who are presenting their own research.
After the break, we'll have Anna George with the weekly weather report.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hello and welcome back to Mustang News. I'm Anna George here with your weather report. On Tuesday, a mudslide happened near the Monterey County and SLO County line. This footage is taken from the Monterey Sheriff's Office, and the mudslide buried Highway 1, about 9 miles north of SLO County. The rocks there's about 1 million pounds of rocks and dirt that fell on the freeway, and officials aren't quite sure when the road will be back up and running. All right, so for today's forecast, we have a high of 63 and a low of 53. Mostly cloudy this morning. We saw a little bit of fog and a little bit of misting, but it's going to clear up. No more humidity, but still pretty cloudy. All right, in the North County, we have a high of 59 in Paso Robles and a high of 57 in Atascadero. Like I said, a high of 63 in San Luis Obispo. A little bit warmer in Avila Beach with a high of 64, but still pretty chilly. I wouldn't say beach weather. In South County, in Nipomo, there's a high of 63. Santa Maria, there's a high of 63 as well. We're seeing 63 throughout pretty much all of South County, and a low of 61 in Vandenberg. So for this week's 5-week forecast, we have a high of 62 tomorrow with a little bit of wind, and the wind will pick up a little bit on Saturday, but we are seeing warmer temperatures. Sunday is going to be cloudy with 72, but Monday for Memorial Day, we have a high of 75. So pretty good beach weather for Memorial Day. Probably barbecue and hang out with friends and family. Tuesday, clouds are coming back with a high of 73. Well, that's all for today's weather report. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Anna. The lineup for the 3rd annual Spring Stampede has been announced by ASI. The American DJ Flostradamus will headline with support from local artist Alt9. The concert will begin by 4 p.m. on June 3rd and is open to all Cal Poly students with a Poly card.
More than 200 Cal Poly students are camping together at Lightning in a Bottle, a 5-day festival in Bradley, California. To get the best camping spot, a group is leaving at 4 in the morning on Thursday, May 27th. Business Administration junior Allie Hanley organized the camp by creating a Facebook group. She says it will be a good way for Cal Poly students to bond.
I definitely think it's a good way for them to meet and network and connect, because you're with them 24/7 kind of. It's like you're going to sleep with them, you wake up with them, you're eating with them, you're getting ready, you're showering, like it's just like kind of all there in nature. You're just doing it all.
Hanley has been preparing for the event for a month. The festival features music, art, food, yoga, and sustainability workshops. Thanks to the rainy winter, there will be a lake at the festival for the first time ever.
The Cal Poly Indian Student Association hosted their biggest annual event, Holi, a festival of colors, on Saturday, May 20th.
So Holi is pretty much a festival of colors, and there's 2 sides to it. Holi is like the prayer part of it, and then the part where you throw the colors is actually called Duleti. As Holi's become more like westernized, it's spread from just in India, South India, to like all of India, and to Europe and to the Americas. Holi is just an easier word, an easier way to relate to this festival. Holi is usually in the beginning of end of March or beginning of April, but just in terms of like scheduling conflicts with ASI and stuff, we usually keep ours in early May for like a post midterms, pre-finals turnout. It's a lot of spending time with family. It's a lot of just being around friends as well. And It specifically, the second thing it signifies is actually the offset of winter and the oncome of spring. And so it's just a happy time, like the sun's out, people have their own colors, very common to have water balloons, water guns. We just got approved by ASI for water balloons, and we have a water hose, so it'll be a lot of fun. And we're selling samosas at the event too. Over here, we give out packets, give people a chance to buy food, and then right around a good time when almost everyone's there, I'll be on the mic. We'll start a song, and then on the bass drop, we'll have everyone throw the color in the air together, and it makes like a really cool effect. And then the rest of it's just people with water balloons, like hitting each other. And you can get anyone, like friends, family, strangers. Like it's just a really happy time. One of the best weekends of the year. It's just really cool seeing other people embrace our culture.
Well, that looks amazing. In Morro Rock, it's dangerous to climb and it's illegal, but many people still attempt it. The Morro Bay Fire Department and state parks rescued a woman who climbed 150 feet up the rock. This is the first citation given for climbing the rock this year, and the first since August. According to the Morro Bay Fire Chief, Steve Knuckles, an average of 4 to 5 people are caught climbing the rock each year. Knuckles says there have been 3 deaths in the past 20 years. And California State Parks manages Morro Rock and issues citations totaling up to $690 for climbing the rock. Along with a citation from state parks, Morro Bay Fire will often add a service charge for rescues, which can cost up to $3,000.
While climbing Morro Rock is illegal, one Cal Poly student found a legal climb that was just a little bit bigger. On Saturday, May 20th, James Harper, a sophomore aerospace engineer, scaled the side of Half Dome in Yosemite National Park to check that rock off his bucket list. Half Dome was first scaled in 1875 by George G. Anderson, and the views he found have become a treat for the world ever since. Harper says that climbing Bishop's Rock in San Luis Obispo gave him the confidence to tackle the 4-hour climb in Yosemite. Here, he talks about the moment he reached the top.
Just like you get that beautiful view of the entire valley, and it's just like so many people go up there regardless. Like it's just really cool to be around a bunch of other people. They all stare at you when you come up the mountain from climbing, and they're like, wow, like this kid just did that. Like that's awesome.
We would like to thank Josh for footage seen here from his GoPro while he was climbing Half Dome. Coming up after the break,
find out about the Worlds of Surf competition coming to Pismo Beach.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
Hello, welcome to another fresh edition of Poly Playbook.
We're serving up all the hot action, cool plays, and everything in between for Cal Poly Athletics.
I'm Connor McCarthy.
I'm Nate Edelman. I'm Brian Strong.
Poly Playbook starts now.
Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this year?
I think the Patriots are going to win.
Hi, I'm Joe Schatz, and I'm here at Spanos Stadium.
I'm Megan Healy here at Staples Center.
Myself will be taking on Sierra Highland. Best pitcher in Big West softball history. Let's see how this goes.
Tune in every week to Poly Playbook, right here on Mustang News.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Megan Healy here with your weekly sports update. There will be a World of Surf competition coming to Pismo Beach.
Pismo local Andy McKay created the surf competition when he realized how few competitions there are for surfers in California. Although California is considered to be at the top when it comes to surfing, the amount of surfers sent to world competitions has been cut in half, and there are only 4 completions year-round that all take place in LA. McKay wants to give another place for surfers to compete.
I kind of put together all the ideas and asked a bunch of people what they thought, and then I started searching for sponsors, and it all came fairly easy. It was a lot of work, but it came together much easier than people told me it would, and now I've got the event off and running, and hopefully November 17th through the 19th we'll be blessed with good waves and good waves.
McKay has been approved by the World of Surf League to put on the competition, and now he is just looking for more sponsors and people to come out to have fun at the event. The competition will be November 17th at Pismo Beach, and signups for surfers will be available soon. The Cal Poly baseball team plays UC Riverside this weekend in a 3-game series.
The Cal Poly baseball team swept the UCSB Gauchos last weekend for the 2nd season in a row, winning their 6th conference matchup of the season. Coach Larry Lee says that the Mustangs played their best baseball of the season.
Difficult place to play, Santa Barbara, and all facets of the game were clicking.
Catcher Nick Meyer went 6 of 12 batting in the series. Meyer was selected to play on the USA Baseball Collegiate National Team Monday morning. This season, Meyer has a .259 batting average, 6 doubles, a pair of triples, and 1 home run. Defensively, Meyer has thrown out 16 base runners trying to steal.
There's no difference of the competition I'm going to be facing. Obviously, it's going to be some power arms. There's going to be a little bit more velocity and better stuff overall, but I'm definitely going to have confidence. You have to when you play. So,
Meyer is the man the Mustangs want with the bat in his hands when it comes down to crunch time. Here's what he has to say about his walk-off last weekend against CSUN.
Sometimes when you come up in like a walk-off situation, you got to think of what they're trying to do to you. They're not going to give you a good pitch to hit early on in the count for the fact that they know you're going to be swinging. So,
catcher Nick Meyer.
I knew I was going to get a slider early on in the count, and he actually got down the count 2-0. So, kind of knew I was going to get something good to hit. So, he actually threw a changeup, and it kind of fooled me, to be honest. And I was just able to keep my hands back a little bit and put the ball on the left. So, it worked out.
Joe Schutz, Mustang News.
And we'll be right back with more news after the break.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills?
Check.
Driver's license?
Check.
And a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that. You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
We'd like to thank you for joining us today, and that's all we have for today for news. I'm Dan Dempster.
And I'm Shirin Beroukhim. We hope you come back next week.